Good morning, students. In last class, we discussed about what is why there is a need of pre-processing. Okay, what makes pre-processing comes under to collaborate with data warehousing, right? In this session, we are going to discuss about various pre-processing techniques. Among various pre-processing techniques, one of the important mechanism or the method is data cleaning. So first, in order to clean our data from various data repositories, we use one of the important method called as data cleaning, right? So already in this, these are the concepts that we discussed previously in last class. See, so there are why we use the data pre-processing technique means for data cleaning, it can be applied to remove noisy and correct inconsistencies data. So why data cleaning means to remove noisy and inconsistent data. Okay, so that is the need of cleaning. And what is the need of data integration means merges data from multiple sources. Already this classes will be already be completed, and in this session we are going to discuss about what is data cleaning. So data cleaning method is used to is applied to remove noise and incorrect and inconsistencies data. Okay, so let me start. What is uh, noisy and what do you mean by inconsistency? Okay, so first, how you clean the data? How you clean the data? See, our data cleaning mechanism cleaned in first with the help of to handle missing data. Okay, first one is it handles the it, if there is a missing data available in our database, how it handles the missing data. So first mechanism is in data cleaning, we have three mechanisms. First one is how to handle missing data and how to handle noisy data. These are the two how to handle some inconsistent data. So these are the various scenarios what we have to discuss in this session. So first one is how to handle missing data. First one is if there is some missing data in available in tuple. Okay, so any multidimensional data, particular row data is available, is missed. So that just you ignore that tuple. I have 5 tuples. Among 5 tuples, 4 values are inserted and fifth tuple is not inserted. So just you remove or ignore particular tuple. That is the first mechanism. So if there is any particular row which is not available in particular database, just you ignore the tuple. And second, fill in the missing value manually. So if there is a particular value available which is not available in particular tuple or particular data attribute. For example, I have 5 values. Among 5 values, 4 values are X and fifth value is missed. So defaultly you have to manually write that as an X. Okay. So if there is any particular data which is not available in your tuple, first one is ignore the tuple, and second one is you add based on 4 tuples, and third one use a global constant to fill in the missing values. To, for example, we have a global constant for databases null values. Already you know that null value. There is no particular data available. Just you give the value as a null value. Here the global constant value like hyphen, identifier, or infinity, or question mark, all comes under the global constant values. Okay. I hope you understanding these 3 tuples. And fourth one is use the attribute mean or median for all samples belonging to the same class as the given tuple. So you have the 4 values, calculate the mean value and present the value. Or based on 4 values, calculate the median value or present the value. And last one, use the probable value to fill in the missing value. So based upon some scenarios, you have to fill that probability value. Okay, use some any algorithm as any particular random generator, just you fill that value. So you have first in data cleaning we have taking some data from various repositories and storing particular data in our database. So in that scenario, you have the first mechanism is, if there is no data available in particular database, you have to handle the missing data. That consists of, first one is ignoring the tuple. Just you ignore the tuple or write the values based upon previous values and use some global constant value like infinity hyphen underscore, and next calculate either mean or median values and use the most probable value to fill in the missing value. Probable value means nothing but you have to use some random generator to fill that value. Okay, these are the 5 values to carry in the data. Second one, for noisy data. For noisy means some many errors. Okay, a data is said to be noisy if attributes values are invalid and incorrect. Already you know that noisy means already if a particular salary attribute is available, in that available the salary attribute value should be a positive value. There is no negative value. If the data is like that, that is called as noisy data. So noise is a random error or the variance in a measured variable. Smooth out the data to remove noisy. Some of the data smoothing techniques that are commonly used are, we have 5 various techniques which are used to correct the noisy data, called as binning method, clustering method, combined computer inspection, regression, and inconsistent. Okay, so we have the 5 mechanisms for noisy data and 5 mechanisms for missing data. Okay, first one is binning data. Binning method is nothing but smooth a sorted value by consulting the neighborhood, that is values around it. For example, if you see the particular example, you can easily understand the binning value. So if there is particular 100 items are available, so in that some values are what we call as noisy values. So that in order to remove the noisy values, we have to first calculate all the neighbor values from 0 to 100 values, and after that the value should be arranged in, first the value should be arranged in sorted order. Okay, first it is smoothed a sorted data value, sorted data value by consulting the neighborhood. So whatever the data we have, the value of the list of data is arranged in sorted order and calculating based upon the neighborhood values. Okay, in binning method, the sorted values are distributed into a number of buckets or bins. Because binning method consult the neighborhood of values, they perform local smoothing. So local smoothing means whatever we have from data from 0 to 100, we are performing on the data, and you have to calculate by means of the neighborhood means you have to assume that the placed data should be in buckets. Okay, commonly used binning methods are, first smoothing by bin with means, smoothing by mean with median, smoothing by bin with, this is not means, this is boundaries. Okay, so smoothing by bin means, smoothing by bin median, smoothing by bin means. So what these means we will discuss now. So first the data is like this. Already you discussed that the data starts from 0 to 100. Okay, so data, now you have to calculate the depth of the particular bucket. How far you store particular data. Okay, I have from 100 elements means the 100 elements as for, you have to store from 0 to how many values in particular data, and 10 to 20 another data. Now you know that data for price are first sorted and then partition into equal depths of depth 3. For example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 means we have, this is a possibility of 3, and there is a possibility of there is no possibility. So that based upon 12 means you have the 4, 6. Okay, so that 9 means you are calculating with equal depth bins of depth 3. Okay, so sorted data, first this is the data you are placing like this, so that the data elements is in sorted order. First partitioning into equal width bins. So with for every each and every the element should be 3, so that first 3 elements in bin 1, next 3 elements in B2, next 3 elements in bin 3. So that we have 3 bin values which are stored in equal order with the depth 3. Okay. Now smoothing by bin means, now you are smoothing the values with bin means. Okay, that means you are calculating bin 1 value. So that the mean of the bin means 9. Next, you are calculating bin 2. All 3 values the bin is 22. Now you are calculating this one. Our bin value 22. Now you have to perform the median of this value. You know the median, how you perform first value and last value. Okay. Next, median of these two values. Next, median of these two values. You know how to calculate, right? Next, see, now if you're calculating mean value and calculating median value, now considering the boundaries. So you have to perform the particular value with the boundary values. Okay. See, for example, if you take 4, nearest boundary of 4, you have to take the boundaries. This is the first boundary 4 and this is the second boundary 15. Okay. Now you are performing these 3 elements which boundaries nearest to particular neighborhood value. If you are taking 4, so nearest boundary value is 4. If you are taking 8, nearest value for 8 is 4 or 15 means this 8 is, the difference between 4 and 8 is 4. The difference between 8 and 15 is 7. So nearest value of 8 is 4. 15, you are performing the nearest boundary 15. Next to 21. You have a 21 and 21. Nearest value 24 means 24. 25 nearest value 25. 28 nearest value. You are comparing with 3. This is the difference is 3 and this difference is 6. So 28 nearest value is 25 and 34 nearest value 34. So that you are calculating each with boundaries values. So that the values are, you have to get the 8 data with the help of 4. 15 data and 28 data with the help of 25. Okay. This is the process we do in winning method. Next, clustering. Clustering means outliers may be detected by clustering. What do you mean by outliers? You have some unexpected change in data. Now you have sorted data accordingly. We have a huge amount of data, and the data have some parameter called, based upon some circumstances, there is some change happening in data. That is called as outliers, and this outliers can be detected with the method called as clustering. And the clustering is a unsupervised learning, because we don't have any class labels. We have to identify the class labels and make them into some groups. Okay. Similar values are organized into group clusters. Values which fall outside are called clusters, may be considered as group. See, already we have 100 of data. Already you know that 100 of data. Among the 100, you are identifying the class labels. So if you identify the class label means, so that now you have to identify some group of data from 0 to 100 and store the data in particular group, and remaining are called as outliers, and grouping of elements is called as a clusters. Okay. Next, combined computer and human inspection. Outliers may be identified through a combination of computer and human inspection. This is much faster than having to manually search through the entire database. The garbage patterns can then be removed from the database. So it is a time-taking process. So you have to search from first to last and compare all the elements from first to last with manually for each and every database. So it is a time-taking process. And next one is a regression. So regression data can be smoothed. Smoothed means you are correcting. You are making some uncorrected data into correct data. Data can be smoothed by using a mechanism called as regression. So we have a 2 method called as a linear regression and multiple linear regression. With a linear regression means we are considering 2 axes called as x and y axis, and based upon a linear equation you are performing the which is the best data. So for example, see, linear regression involves finding the best line to fit 2 variables. The 2 variables can be taken as 2 axes, and so that one variable can be used to predict the other. Based upon x attribute or x axis, you are easily identifying the y attribute with a function called as y equal to mx plus c with a linear equation. And multiple linear equations are an extension of linear regression. Here we have only x and y axis where more than two variables are involved to predict the unknown value. We have a multi-dimensional axis or xyz axis. Okay, in xyz axis you have a x value. Based on x value you have to calculate y and z value with some heterogeneous equations. Okay, and last one is inconsistent data. So data inconsistency may be corrected manually using some external references. What do you mean by these external references? Errors means errors made at data entry may be corrected by performing a paper trace. So that you have to put some paper and identify each and element and trace the elements. Knowledge engineering tools may also be used to detect a violation of known data constraints. Okay, so inconsistent data means using some mechanisms, some tools, you are identifying some inconsistent data to consistent data. So this is called as clustering. So you have all the data. See, all this data you are grouped into three groups. You are making these three groups. So some data is fixed in this group and some data is fixed in this group and some data is fixed in this group. And remaining elements is this. So this is called as outliers. So previously this is one data. Now the data is grouped into three groups. Remaining data is called as outliers and group data is called as clusters. So from this concept you completed the data cleaning with the two important mechanisms called how you are calculating noisy values, how you are finding the missed values. Okay, so this is the important concept among the handling missing data and how you noisy data means. So this is one of the important method called as binning method, smoothing the data. Smoothing means removing noisy data. So I hope you understand this session. In next class we discuss about data integration. Thank you all.